Hi, I'm Ellie, the designer of Wallbreakers Advent of the Kenneth. I am planning to launch Wallbreakers on Kickstarter on March 1st, and as part of my research, I interviewed Carlo Gozzi. Carlo is a prolific backer. Over the past decade, he backed over 300 projects with over $10,000 in pledges. Carlo offers a unique perspective about the backer side of Kickstarter. Enjoy the interview. Carlo, thank you for agreeing to do the interview.
That's my
And
pleasure. It's been nice. It's been nice to try to come to share my thoughts and help you out on your project.
yeah, thank you so much. And how about we start by you telling me about your background with Kickstarter?
I started Kickstarter about 10 years ago. I kind of heard it from mouth to mouth, or eventually, I don't remember exactly the first time I heard about it. It was a game called Pizza Theory. That was a three-player games with some original design out of it, and it came in a pizza box, like big surprise. But the game was quite interesting. Since then, it kind of went under out of proportion as I backed many things over the year. Right now, nowadays, I am more thorough and more selective in things that I backed. And I looked upon, I do more research, and with trial and error over the years also kind of led you to what to look for, what to avoid at first glance, and etc. I spent approximately, I guess, over $10,000 ish over 10 years. The biggest Kickstarter I got, I think, in a row, in a single pledge was Cthulhu Wars from Sandy Peterson, which is a kind of a blend from Chaos in the Old World. Just look at the title, it slipped my mind. Designed by Eric Lang, and it was kind of a follow-up on a reteam from Cthulhu, and with like 50 millions of minis and rules. I could not resist being a huge Lovecraft fan.
So I can safely say that you pledged to more than 100 projects.
Yes. I've pledged up to this day about 330 something projects, more or less. Like it varies from like $5 to $100 on average. Over $100, it happens, but it happened a lot then, maybe less now.
And how do you typically hear about new projects?
Usually Facebook. I'm a very passionate board game collector. Sometimes on the board game page, sometimes on Facebook, sometimes on Kickstarter directly, like see new feature Kickstarter emails and stuff.
Not directly from friends or influencers. It's really through
Uh,
organic advertisements.
yeah. There's another feature on Kickstarter when you can follow friends or you can follow people, and when they back something or they publish something, you instantly receive a notification. So that is pretty helpful to know, to hear about new stuff, to hear about new projects that you may or may not want to check out. That is another source, yes, but usually not really from influencers or friends.
When you find a project that strikes your fancy, how do you usually browse through it?
I will check the project. Okay, is the project appeals to my eye, then I will check. I will then check the video to know a little bit more about the project. If the video sounds interesting, then I will also check the pledge level, like how much to spend in order to get whatever, like with add-ons, that or that stretch goals and stuff. That is something that I will study very carefully. I also check the reputation of the project creator. Like there's a feature, it says like created by somebody. When you click on this, you also see that he created X number of projects. It's a way to access his old projects. From his old projects, was its project canceled? Was there any glitches on the project? Was there anything on the project? You usually go through the comment section and read a little bit of the updates, but usually the comments or the dead giveaway. Like if you see never received something, it's been years, it's been that. That's probably a red flag that says, okay, I will get out of this. Some companies like this one in particular became build this reputation over this and got a stellar pristine reputation that he doesn't even have to use Kickstarter anymore, because he knows when you back from him, he always deliver, and that is Stonemaier game, Jamie Stonemaier that did viticulture then with Scythe and some of this line. He is a model to follow for anybody that wants to use Kickstarter.
You mentioned a bunch of tools that you use to vet the project, and one very powerful indicator you pointed out is checking past projects from the creator. Do you have any advice for indie and new designers that this is their new Kickstarter project? What can they do to establish confidence?
In the end, I think one of the main thing is the reputation of somebody. If somebody has an history of any kind that is obviously positive, that can influence this, I will take, for example, yourself. Look at the time you involve yourself in the Netrunner community during the FFG years. You were out there, you were helpful, you were answering questions everywhere, you were talking strategy, you were talking to how to set up game tournaments. It was obvious, like on many different platforms, your passion and involvement there. And for those who remember you, they just have to remember you as a host when you organized the originals in 2016 and the prizes that came out of it. The point is your reputation. You have already an established reputation within a small community of players that knows you. So if you can generate or translate that for the Netrunner community and beyond, and they can know who you are and what you did before, I think it will be a plus for you onward for your game and stuff.
First of all, thank you for all the kind words. I really appreciate it. If I understand you correctly, it's really all about reputation, and the reputation could come from past Kickstarter projects, but it could come from other communities.
Correct. One way or another, reputation is everything. It's makes or breaks. What I say about Stonemaier Games is totally true. The guy started on Kickstarter, and look where he is right now.
Asking a bit the opposite, about the opposite side, could you recommend any red flags that designers should absolutely avoid in their Kickstarter project?
Deliver what you promise for. If you say something on Kickstarter, deliver onto it. There is a few times or occasions that happen where somebody says that or that as a stretch goal or something. It didn't happen. Obviously, one of the big sensible spot will be the delivery date. I know it's not an exact science. Being OCD, I complain more often than I should on specific project because I was not aware. I had the chance of having friends that went through the Kickstarter process, and I had insights on the designer or on the other side as a project creator what's going on, where there's glitch and stuff. And one of my good friends had a year of delay because of many glitches. We talk about it here and there, and I know that it wasn't his fault. It just happened with factory problems and stuff. That is the most sensitive spot. Be able to deliver on time or close to the time. Also, if there's some glitch or if there's something like sending news and updates on a weekly, monthly basis. This is where I am. This is like where things are going right now. I hit a problem there, but this is going to go well on the other side and blah, blah, blah. Give lots of updates, more than not enough.
I know from my research that delivery date is really important, and you're better off overestimating by a lot and delivering earlier than expected than being late by even a month.
Correct. Like on average, people will not complain too much if there's people are used to delays. Like if there's a delay from like 1, 2, 3 months, it's not the end of the world. But after 2, 3 months, people will start asking questions like COVID or not. Yep.
Let's talk about price points for a minute. When
Yes.
you presented yourself, one of the things you said that back in the day you pledged some pretty expensive projects, and then you mentioned $100 as sort of a sweet spot. So I'm wondering how you're thinking about pricing and costs.
If we compare the price range of the games now, like there's a lot of games may not be only a miniature game exclusively that can sell for $100 plus. So it all depends, obviously, on your budget. We all have limits and stuff, so it will really depend. Like if I see a miniature game under $100, yes, that's probably something that would be too good to be true. There's a lot of games that surprise me that are over $100 sometimes. It is what it is. I found some really nice things for like 20, $30 that can be nice too. So it depends. Like the price will be a factor for me, but will also it always will be a factor, but it also comes within all the checkups that I do when looking for a new game.
So we talked about marketing and strategy. We didn't actually talk about board games. And one thing in particular I wanted to ask you that we talked about before is about single player or solo modes. Are they important for you? How do you factor them into your purchase decision?
I like to be able to play solo games, maybe with different challenge or different goals to do, different difficulty modes. It depends maybe on the area where you live in, or if you have, when we say card games, we need at least two-player games, knowing your background. Like I'm expecting a two-player games, like we know that Will Breakers is going to be. So what if you don't have any players around you? What if you have to drive 45 minutes to play or something? It's not everybody who might enjoy your game that lives in a big city or will have access to a large pool of players. This is where the solo mode can come in, like be able to face challenges and different difficulties, maybe a campaign mode to be able to accomplish various goals, specific set of cards, or maybe as a stretch goal, solo mode with like campaign number 1, campaign number 2, campaign number 3, that you can do some adventures or stuff. Could be a thought just to keep yourself entertained with it. That is something that I take a lot into consideration nowadays in the games that I want to try. Like it's like, why spend $500 in a game that you may have the chance to play once or twice because you don't have the people around you? That is a big factor in what I want to do nowadays. If you want to have a chance to reach a specific amount of money during a Kickstarter campaign, you could probably set it as a stretch goal. At worst, do it as an add-on. But usually this is something we see either on the stretch goal or already supplied within the basic pledge.
As part of your research, do you try the game's online modes with Tabletopia or Tabletop Simulator?
I will usually avoid virtual and just stick to what I research to do stuff. With COVID, like I start being involved a little bit more online since COVID in order to play a few board games either on Tabletop Simulator, Tabletopia, like the board games website that we can play with among community, or to keep in touch with friends all around the world, be there all at once and play a game online too. So that is something that I've grown to enjoy more since COVID times.
So I think that's all of my questions. Anything else that you would like to add?
I think that your idea is a great idea. You involve your small community of world breakers already into the what cards will look like, the card name and stuff. So that is nice to be able to vote on topics that you allow us to vote towards that. That makes like people interested. That will be a great thing from now on. Maybe like, I don't know, continue to do it that way. I know that there's some possibilities to try it on Tabletop Simulator. I'm looking forward to try it as well. Do like voluntary, eager to try the solo mode and playtest the solo mode for you.
Thank you so much for your time.
That was my pleasure. I'm very happy if it's something that could help anybody out there. Then the goal will be accomplished. And it's always nice to talk about a passion or just share experience about something that we can know. So I'm always happy to do so.
Thank you so much. Thanks again to Carlo Gozzi for participating in the interview. As we discussed, you can find Worldbreakers on Tabletop Simulator. Please check our website and please join the Discord channel to learn more about the game. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.